sometimes the best art is made just by some freaks. And Claremont, Byrne, Cockram, these guys are freaks.
We're not the men you know we be. We're guidance of humanity. Transform, X-Men, reporting sinister. Transform, mutant, systems is vital death. Now we're X-Men.
Hello, Flat Scans, and welcome to the X-Men. We are the next stage in human evolution. Two trans women exploring the X-Men, and my name is Beth.
My name is Seanny.
We're doing peace signs if you're in the audio format, because our audio listeners are going up. So now we're going to have to explain more of the things that we do now that YouTube isn't the queen anymore. We got equal power across different platforms. So if we do anything cute, we'll make sure to explain it. Just know if you're in the audio format and you've never seen a picture of us before, you just listen to the podcast, we're cool and we're cute and we want to talk about X-Men. That part you will hear in the audio format.
Definitely.
I'm already rambling, but it's what people like about us. And today we got a lot of X-Men for you. We're going to be reading the Proteus Saga, Seanny.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this, Beth.
I've mentioned it before. Around 2009, they were putting out these hardcovers. They had like blue and black covers. I think they were called like Marvel Premiere Edition hardcover. No, like Premiere Edition. That's a different thing that they put out now. I think it was Premiere.
Premiere.
Anyway.
Is that spelled different?
It has an extra E on the end.
Oh la la, that makes it extra fancy.
And I had this in hardcover when I was 18 years old, and I didn't own many comics. Like just random issues here and there, and a big stack of secondhand Excaliburs that I got for $1. And I've probably read Proteus a million times.
Wow.
But I picked up some stuff I didn't pick up before or forgot about this time around. So it's been a while between drinks for me.
I'm going to be really interested hearing your thoughts, like past Beth and current Beth.
That past life, that's mush. That's gone. I was going to make a joke about how long time between drinks. I am sober and have been for a year and a half.
It's been a long time between drinks for you.
It's been a long time between drinks, and not just drinking Proteus. Okay, a Proteus shake. Seanny, what are you wearing?
Okay, I am wearing some baby shower merch. We have the Winona Ride or Die t-shirt here because what is better than one Winona Ryder than a Cronenberg-esque abomination with like 3 Winona Riders mashed into one?
For those of you playing at home, Baby Shower is one of Seanny's bands, and they rock.
Aw, thank you.
A bunch of ukulele babies. It's a dope shirt.
Electric ukulele-powered punk. And Beth, can I ask what you're wearing?
I am wearing... It's a shirt I got at, one of those hippie stores. Like, I don't know if you have those outside Australia, but like every shopping center has one in Australia where they just sell incense and silver earrings,
dream
and
catchers,
tarot cards, dream catchers, and shirts that are covered like this in rainbows and suns and moons and peace signs.
Wow.
And I got this one on my friend Kate's birthday. I took her on a day out at the beach because it was like 45 degrees. I had just worn like my bathers as the top, and we needed to go get food. And I was like, probably don't want to go in and get some food without a shirt on. Ducked into the first shop I saw along the strip of like beachside shops. It was one of those hippie stores, and I bought this pink tie-dye t-shirt with suns and moons and peace signs and all kinds of hippie nonsense on it. And I love the shirt.
And you have been dabbling in your little hippie girl era in a few places, haven't you?
Yeah, that's true, but I don't want people thinking I'm getting all new age, because like the new age to like right-wing pipeline is a real thing. It's like an ironic interest. I asked a friend of mine, at what point do I need to be worried that the hippie shit that I'm liking is no longer ironic? And she said, probably when you stop calling it hippie shit.
Oh, that's a good heads up. When you own more than one salt lamp, then we'll start being concerned.
I do own a salt lamp.
As
I
long
do.
as it's only one.
It's pretty cool.
Is it salty?
I'm pleading the fifth. I wouldn't know if the salt lamp is salty or not. I have not tested.
Well, Beth, you know what I'm not salty about?
What?
It's the fact that we get to talk about Proteus tonight.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, but you're getting ahead of yourself. We haven't even done a check-in yet.
Damn it, I had such a good segue. Because usually we do the check-in before the fit check, so I wasn't sure whether we were jumping ahead.
Yeah, but I was on one. I got pretty big stuff to talk about, Seanny.
Okay, well...
Have you not noticed this big white garment bag behind me? Remember how I asked you to ask me about the garment bag and you've forgotten, Seanny?
I know.
Can you do your job, please?
Well, see, here was what went through my brain was that like, oh no, Beth's forgotten to do the check-in. She's jumped to fit check. All right, we're going to do the whole episode with this teaser bag behind you. Everyone's going to be like, what's in the bag? And then right at the end of the pod, I'd ask you about it. But we're not doing any of that right now.
We're not doing that, Seanny. This is the check-in. Can you ask me about the bag, please?
Most of this is probably getting cut, so...
No, it's not. This is fantastic content.
Oh, God. Beth, what's in the bag, please?
Seanny, my wedding dress is in that bag.
Oh,
Because-
my God.
I haven't mentioned this on the pod for some reason. Everybody out there at home is like, Beth, aren't you married? I'm like, yes, I am married. But I got married before I transitioned. And so it's going to be our 5th wedding anniversary next week. And we decided we're going to get remarried. Last year on our anniversary, Fran re-proposed to me. She bought me an engagement ring because obviously I never had one. We got all these wedding photos that we don't want to look at because, well, I don't want to look at. She still likes them.
Real.
I like her in them.
I feel that big time.
Yeah, but there's a lot of pictures of like the previous model. And I've upgraded since then. I've gone aftermarket.
Significantly.
I showed Seanny one of my old IDs at my place the other day, and she was like, Beth, some people transition and look a bit different, but mostly the same. But then there's you. It's like you can't even link that it's the same person.
It's lucky you got your ID updated because you would be arrested if you got pulled over using that thing.
Well, lucky then that I'm going to get all these new wedding photos. So
Yeah.
I've got this beautiful wedding dress that my friend Suzanne made.
And Beth is being humble here. Who designed the wedding dress, Beth?
Oh, I drew a picture of what I wanted the wedding dress to be like. And I gave it to my friend Suzanne, who is a genius, and she's worked in the fashion industry and just truly went above and beyond on this. She didn't have to do it, but made me the most beautiful dress to my exact specifications of like this very silly drawing I did.
It is the drawing come to life. She nailed it.
Anything else to tell us about, Seanny? You been up to anything good?
There's one little thing in that I recently had a weekend away with some friends. It was really lovely. We do it every year. It's just like a little nerdy getaway with my boys. We play video games and board games. And I was coming home from this lovely weekend and I was all tired. I was all excited to be finally home, and I get a flat tire. And instant anxiety for me because I know there is no spare tire in my boot because I had used it a couple of weeks earlier and I had not replaced it. Very silly. We'll never ever do it again. But because of that, I had to wait in the parking lot behind a KFC for 2.5 hours while a mobile repair person came to replace my tire. But during that time is when I read one of the issues that we're going to talk about tonight. And
If there's one thing to do in a hot car, like reading comics sounds pretty good.
it did. I'm like, I've got to use my time well. And like, oh my God, the saddest thing about this, I wasn't in the best mood, obviously, but I was reading my comics. I'm like, I'm going to make a little bit of content about this. I'll take a selfie so I can show it on the pod of this moment. And I took what I thought was just like a normal cute selfie, but I looked at it earlier today to remind myself, and the despair that is visual on my face that I didn't pick up on at the time is just so sad. And I feel so sad for previous me. But here it is. Here's me enjoying comics in a hot car.
I was going to say, you can't tell that story and then not show us.
I have to, as much as I don't want to, but here it is. So do with that what you
Seanny.
will. That's okay. That's okay. It was my own fault. I learnt a valuable lesson and I got to read some comics. So it wasn't all bad.
Oh, I got one more thing.
Please.
I got a tattoo yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
You can't
did.
see it on the audio pod, but on my ribs here, I've got a logo for our band La Familia, one of our bands, our hardcore band. Shorty designed a logo, and now it's tattooed on me, and
Such an honor.
it really hurt, and it's just a cool tattoo that I thought I would show off. So
Oh
go
my
listen to
gosh.
La Familia, whenever this comes out. If this comes out at the start of May, we'll have a new single out called Pretty on the Inside. Out May 1st. I'm trying to think how far our turnaround is here. I think it'll work out.
I think it might work
And
out.
It might work out. So Pretty on the Inside, go stream it if it is after May 1st.
Tough.
Rock and roll. Shall we talk about X-Men?
Let's talk about X-Men.
I can't get a tattoo to promote every single.
The turnaround that you produce singles, you're going to run out of skin.
Let's talk about X-Men.
Let's do it.
We got 4 issues for you today. We read X-Men 125 to 128, the Proteus Saga. I love this storyline. Did you love this storyline, Seanny?
I loved this storyline. I think I have to call it that it's my favorite storyline we've read yet.
Let's get into it. Let's do this synopsis, baby. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. There's something awful on Muir Island, but it's not Jean Grey, aka the Phoenix, who is in Moira MacTaggert's lab testing the extent of her powers. As she emerges from the lab after another round of Moira's tests, something sinister watches from the shadows. Something that used to be a man. And it's not one of us. Hi-oh! Like the name of the podcast.
Just like that.
His name was Angus McWhirter, but now he is something different, not trans. Back in Westchester, the X-Men train in the Danger Room, once again finding themselves at odds with each other. Our scene shifts then through several more characters. Magneto high above the earth, mourning his lost wife. Jason Wyngarde sitting upstairs in a Scottish inn, fantasizing over his plan to turn Jean Grey into the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club.
Ooh.
Moira MacTaggert back in her lab, wondering what might happen if Jean ever tapped into the full potential of her powers again, as she could become something akin to a god. And Charles Xavier slipping out of a state ball that the Empress Lilandra is hosting so he can catch up on what truly happened to the X-Men in space, and just now discovering the extent of Jean's power
Oh my god.
when she knit the fabric of reality back together many, many issues ago.
We
Catch
will
up,
talk
Chuck.
about this.
He decides that he must return to Earth at once. Back on Muir Isle, Moira steps on something, a gold tooth, outside the room, which contains the mysterious Mutant X. In a panic, she opens the cell and is shocked at what she sees inside. But our scene changes. Sensing her mental anguish, Jean launches into action as the Phoenix, but is struck from behind by the creature that used to be Angus McWhirter. Across the Atlantic, Beast enters the X-Mansion, only to be ambushed by Nightcrawler. Kurt, shocked at what he's seen, as he and the other X-Men believe Beast to be dead, he rallies the other X-Men and brings them out to Beast, who is excited to be reunited with Scott and to find out that he is alive. Beast informs the X-Men that Jean is alive. They immediately make arrangements to head off for Muir Isle. As Scott calls ahead, Lorna Dane answers the phone and is just telling Scott what has happened with Moira and Jean when she is attacked from behind. And as Lorna screams, the line goes dead. End of first issue.
Oh.
I love that last page with Moira screaming, but I'm not allowed to get into the ups yet.
But spoiler, the end of every issue is gas.
Every single one. The Blackbird tears across the sky as Scott pilots towards Muir Island and a reunion with Jean Grey. The X-Men split up and approach the facility from different angles. Kurt finds an unconscious Lorna next to the mummified body of Angus McWhirter. As the team reunite with Havoc, Jamie Madrox, and Moira, Scott, against his own instructions, heads off on his own to find Jean. However, as she goes in and out of consciousness after her encounter with Mutant X, she speaks the name Jason, leaving Scott stunned as Jean falls back into unconsciousness. Later, Jamie Madrox recounts that it was one of his duplicates, as the multiple man, that saved Lorna when he saw her being attacked, and Mutant X possessed the duplicate instead of Lorna, making it feel as if Jamie's soul was being torn out of his body. Scott has been able to find any information on Mutant X in the island's files, and Moira has to fess up that this was a private matter, as Mutant X is her son. Twist!
What a
Mutant
twist!
X must possess human shells to survive. He has now made it to the Scottish mainland, where he travels from human shell to human shell, devouring as many host bodies as he can. The X-Men split up to search for him. It is ultimately Wolverine who finds Mutant X possessing the body of a Scottish police officer. The villain tries to possess Logan, however, having a weakness for metal that can imprison or destroy him. He is unable to take over Logan's body, as we find out for the first time that Logan has $3 million worth of adamantium in his skeleton.
Oh my god, what a lore drop moment.
This is when Mutant X reveals his true name, Proteus, and his power is to warp reality itself. Nightcrawler and Wolverine find their powers useless against the awesome power of Proteus, and Storm enters the fray. However, even she finds that she has met her match and whips up a mighty gale to try and take Proteus out, but still he approaches, closing in for the kill. Storm's gale rages wildly around them. She tries for one last gamble to escape by flying above Proteus through the storm. However, his reality warping powers prove too much for her as he flips the very ground from beneath her feet to above her head.
Oh, no.
Wolverine is too stunned to do anything, and Kurt considers one last move when from high above, a bullet fires, nearly hitting Proteus. Moira is shooting at her own son. Scott does not approve of this and says the X-Men want to capture but not kill Mutant X. Moira disagrees and knocks Scott out with the bottom of her gun. Proteus escapes, taking the X-Men's Jeep and heading south. The X-Men regroup, and Scott, seeing Wolverine totally shell-shocked from his encounter with Proteus, picks a fight with his own teammates to fire them back up. This enrages Logan, who takes his opportunity to let out all his ongoing frustrations against the leader. With Kurt and Aurora joining the fray, Cyclops decides that enough is enough and reveals that this was all part of his plan to have an impromptu Danger Room session so the X-Men don't lose their bite. Wolverine develops a grudging respect for Scott, but down in Edinburgh, Moira has realized where Proteus is headed, to see his father, Joe MacTaggert, who he refers to as the one I hate. There is no love lost between Moira and Joe, and after an argument, Moira storms out, having warned Joe about the coming threat. A burst of psychic energy reveals Proteus' location to Jean, and the X-Men head south, but they're too late. Mutant X has possessed Joe MacTaggert and is heading in for the kill against Moira. As the X-Men arrive and launch into a battle, Proteus seizes Moira in his grasp and threatens to either break her neck or possess her. Oh my god, this storyline has everything.
Everything. This is a movie's worth.
Oh my god, why have they never adapted this into a movie?
Honestly.
Sam Raimi directing this reality warping nonsense? Come on.
Get him on the phone now.
You're gonna give me Raimi Doctor Strange before you give me Raimi doing X-Men Proteus? Get out of here. Get out of here. I love Sam Raimi.
I have the perfect casting for Joe, but we'll get to it.
We've just invented a movie, and it's just to stall me reading the rest of the synopsis. So here we go. Issue 128, the end of this storyline. As Proteus's powers rage, the city of Edinburgh screams. As Mutant X warps reality all around him, the X-Men approach from all sides, finding themselves bested at every turn. Thousands of bees swarm towards civilians. Moira's body is morphed at Proteus's will. Storm is encased in amber. Banshee is dropped deep in a pit. As the X-Men soothe their lumps, Proteus takes off with Moira towards the top battlements of Edinburgh Castle. Unable to be stopped by the power of Phoenix, Wolverine's claws, and even the combined power of Havoc and Cyclops, there's only one man left for the job. Peter Rasputin, Colossus. Making it to the top of the castle, he hurls Proteus towards a wall, shattering his burnt-out host body. This leaves only Proteus's true form of raw energy. Transforming into his organic steel form, Colossus hurls a mighty punch into the heart of Proteus. The rogue mutant bursts and scatters into a flare of energy that spreads across the four corners of the earth. Mutant X has been defeated, and as the X-Men celebrate the victory, Moira mourns the death of her son and her husband, leaving part of her glad and part of her numb, wishing only that a merciful God will pardon her for her part in this tragedy. Mic drop.
Beautiful work.
I'd say how are they going to top that storyline, but Dark Phoenix starts in the next issue, so...
The fact that Dark Phoenix starts next after this gas?
Oh, we're at the point now where it's just going to be like classic after classic for a hot while, because it's after Dark Phoenix finishes, it's only a couple of issues before Days of Future Past starts.
Oh my gosh. Incredible.
Yeah, it's just bang, 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 bang.
It's so interesting that this storyline hasn't been adapted, because how many Dark Phoenixes do we have? Like 3 different versions? And we've got Days of Future Past.
That's it. Make it happen. We need the Proteus movie. They'd mess it up. Name a good X-Men movie. You can't.
Yeah. They're good until you read the comics. Sort of.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not. X-Men lovers, down in the comments, tell me, am I being too harsh on the X-Men movies? I don't like any of them. No, I like Wolverine Origins.
But
not as an X-Men movie, just as a movie.
Fun.
It's a hilarious film.
It's just fun. That's the thing that the others sort of forget, is to have some fun with it.
Exactly, but we're getting distracted. So instead of talking about the ups and downs of the X-Men movie franchise, let's get into the ups of the Proteus saga.
Beth, since you did so well at the synopsis, would you like to give me the first up?
I'm going to preface this by saying that I love this story. I've read it a lot of times, and I'm probably a bit blinded by nostalgia. I'm going to have very little stuff to say bad about it. I'm just going to try and work my way through these issues in kind of chronological order, I think, instead of jumping around a lot, because I got a lot of positive notes.
Same.
So first thing, I don't want to give lots of very little specific ups, but I do want to shout out that the opening page of this storyline on 125 has so much sick lettering on it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The title, There's Something Awful on Muir Island, has awful in this epic green distorted monster font. I love it that anytime Phoenix's name shows up in its own special font.
Very Art Nouveau, very that a Led Zeppelin album would have that font on it.
Yeah, so the lettering's going off here, but also just in general, Byrne does some great work throughout this whole opening scene in the lab where Jean is being tested by Moira. We get a great image of her powers being fired up with the Phoenix form all around her. And when she's telling Moira that the tests are getting to be a real drag, the shadows on her face and her fiery red hair are in this very close-up image that makes her look really sinister, hinting that things are going to go wrong soon with the Phoenix.
Yes.
And I love Moira's little research goggles.
Moira's whole little research get-up brings me a lot of life. You're absolutely right. My first up too is that opening page with just Jean unleashing her raw energy with the Phoenix form behind her as Moira is at her computer. The lighting in this scene is working so hard. It really is such an impressive way to kick off this entire storyline. Moira, our sweet, beautiful Moira, is finally getting some decent depictions of her being a renowned genetic physicist in action. I've always liked Moira as a character since we were first introduced to her, but she's always been relegated to a background sort of extension of Charles for the time that we've known her. It is so nice that we get to see her taking a lead role in this storyline.
Yeah, that's it. He's off-world, so we don't need to frame her story through a man anymore.
We don't.
I like that the little setup asides are back, which is something in the early issues with Claremont and Cockrum, we used to get these little introductions, a couple of panels showing like that Black Tom Cassidy would be coming in a couple of issues from now and stuff like that. So we get this little scene of Magneto mourning a wife that's died. That's going to be exciting to get to know more about. We've also got this little scene of Jason Wyngarde above this inn, which is setting up the storyline that's going to be important in Dark Phoenix, of him trying to turn Jean into the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club. And we haven't even met the Hellfire Club or know what they are. Reading X-Men for the first time, like if you were picking this up in, what are we at, 1979, 1980, it's going to be a really fun and exciting mystery to see what's going to come next.
Yeah.
We even get a full preview of Jean in the Black Queen Hellfire Club costume that we're going to be seeing later on. But not only do we get, these little flashes forward of things to come, we also get this little flashback of Jean's travels as she got to Muir Island. And this is a good issue because it's like a lot of different parts. It's like one of those issues that like we're setting up and capping off storylines and bringing in the next thing. Not like that one we read a little while ago with Storm going to her childhood apartment and all that. This issue does it all a lot better. But we see this flashback to Jean traveling across the ocean. She's heading towards Muir Island. She's chatting to this old priest on the plane. But then we get later this reveal in Jason Wyngarde's scene that was actually him in disguise.
It was him.
So
all the nice people that she met.
That was a long-winded way of saying I'm having a lot of fun with lots of like little random stuff popping up on the pages,
Me too. Yeah. It is a testament that these issues get the pacing so right because none of it feels like it delays the momentum in any way. Because we are getting like a lot of Jason Wyngarde asides, so many that I thought he was going to be directly involved in the storyline somehow. But no, it's just like tying it close enough to the main story that's happening that it doesn't feel too out of place. It was really well done. And you're exactly right. It's gotten me really excited to where his storyline is going. Even though ever since you said you think that he stinks, I just smell it every time he's on the page.
That guy looks like he stinks. On that, we get when Jean's rushing after Moira, and this pops up in a couple of the issues. When Jean's rushing for Moira, she gets distracted because she gets this mental vision of herself in this weird old Victorian dress, standing in this, centuries old mansion. It's such a crack up, like that this happened so suddenly. And it's also such a thing that Claremont would want to do visually and ask Byrne to do. And Byrne's clearly having a lot of fun drawing these weird not even flashback scenes, like these visions of like Jean in old-timey clothes in old-timey places. And we can infer that this comes from whatever the hell Wyngarde is doing with illusions.
I needed to ask you about this. So it is Jason Wyngarde who's doing those.
Well, it's not a reveal, me telling you that he can do illusions, because we see him like creating illusions with his hands where he's in the room above the inn.
Yeah, because he can change himself to look like different people. I admit, I was a little confused and thinking initially that Proteus was doing that because he has reality warping powers. And all of these things seem to happen right before Jean encounters either Proteus or like a result of something that Proteus has done.
That's they try to throw you off in the story with that because that's the assumption that Jean makes as well. Like those pages are really weird, but like the fact that Jason Wyngarde is involved in it and we make it through the whole Proteus story without Wyngarde playing into the action at all. I don't think it's a spoiler for me to say that like that's him doing that and not Proteus doing that.
All right, yeah, I thought it was probably going to be that, but yeah, I like that they subverted a little. All right, Proteus. I really love the rollout of this character as the story goes along because the way it starts, it's almost like a bit of an eerie murder mystery. We're only seeing him creeping around the shadows, but anytime he speaks, his text bubbles are green and have this like white crackly outline around them. And it makes me imagine that his voice has a real abstract, creepy quality to it. And it just adds to the atmosphere and anticipation of who this character is.
Well, he's incorporeal, right? Like he doesn't really have a body of his own.
Yeah.
This storyline ends with, us seeing his true form, which is like this being of energy. So it's like, is he really talking or is there like some psychic aspect to it?
True, yeah.
Or like making an approximation of it with his reality warping powers. We don't know. And that's the fact that they can convey that visually with the way his text looks.
That's it. It's a big challenge of comics, I think, is that you have to communicate sound a lot. And when you can do that without even explaining and just having like a literal visual flavor like that, it's so good.
The only reason that Moira decides to check out Mutant X's cell is because she steps on Angus McWhirter's gold tooth in the hallway outside the cell. And I just think that's really funny.
Angus had a little flair for a bit of bling.
That's it.
We learned a lot of interesting things about Angus McWhirter in these issues, actually.
I said it several episodes ago that I love that like these one-off characters, or like I guess he's like a 2 or 3 off now, but like these characters who aren't like, they don't have an important legacy, right? They still get developed and they feel like real people in this world. It's not just hovercraft salesman number 1.
No.
We know Angus McWhirter by name.
Yes. And we can talk about it later as well. But Chris Claremont will give every character, no matter how little screen time, a first, last name and enough backstory that you feel sad if they die.
Angus McWhirter was a bigot and
terrorist.
But I still feel bad for him.
Yeah. He didn't deserve to be Proteus. Nobody does. It looks horrible.
Yeah, everybody who got Proteus, he gets a whole backstory. It's very cute, this scene where Beast comes into the mansion. This is almost like, this is an up and a down, what I'm about to say. Nightcrawler is suspicious about Beast being a ghost when they bump into each other.
He's so convinced.
That the X-Men run into a lot of doppelgangers, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing, they've run into 2 different sets of doppelgangers. And he thinks Beast is dead. His first assumption is, that's the ghost of Hank McCoy.
As if he hasn't encountered 2 separate doppelganger beasts.
But he could also just be colorful. I'm being cheeky here. It's good that the thing Kurt does here is he goes and gets the X-Men because he finally assumes this could be an intruder. We need to be a little bit suspicious here about the possibility of doppelgangers. And the X-Men go out prepared for something to happen here. But then this is where the down comes in, because as soon as Scott and Hank see each other, they're just like, is it really you? And they get a very cute reunion.
Yeah,
but
I like that.
We've learned nothing about being careful about doppelgangers. You got lucky this time that it was really Beast and really Scott. But it could have not been. It could have not been.
I didn't think about the fact that maybe this could have easily been an intruder, because it has been so many times in the past.
So many times.
But yeah, the scene where they have their reunion and they're so excited to see each other, because I have been hanging out across all these storylines like, when are they going to reveal that they're not dead? This is going to be so exciting for everybody. But I love the little detail that Kurt was worried it might have been a ghost beast. And when they're having their reunion and the rest of the X-Men are coming in, we can see just a little drawing of Kurt in the background, carefully peering through the door, inferring that he might still be a little bit wary that Hank might be a ghost.
He's so cute. He's so cute. I love you. Oh, Kurt Wagner, I love you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So on Muir Island, we've got Jean hanging out with Moira and Jamie and Alex. And Jean and Lorna have a scene where Jean shows off that she can change the molecules of her clothes at will. She's getting a little bit flashy with her powers. She's sort of showing them off. But we get this cute illustration of her pirouetting across the room as she switches between 5 different outfits in an effort to distract Lorna, because Lorna's sort of confronting her about these powers. And Lorna's just like clapping and having a good time. And it's just like a really cute moment between them.
I read online that could be, that little panel of her twirling into the clothes, could be a reference to the 70s Wonder Woman show.
Really? With her spinning in her outfit and changing?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Spins to change outfits, yeah.
Well, that's cute.
I want to talk about the last page of 125. I feel like I'm going to talk about every issue at length, but of the 4 banging end pages, this last scene of the first issue, Lorna's on the phone to the X-Men, and Sneaking up from behind her, we don't see them from off camera, is presumably Angus McWhirter, possessed by Proteus. But this page of like Lorna just looking in horror back over her shoulder is seared into my brain. Like this panel is like probably the most vivid panel I remember from this storyline growing up. And it's such a great cliffhanger ending. And it's like, it feels like the end of an X-File or something, or like an X-File cold open, like right before we hit the doodloo 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 doodloo.
So true. Yeah. It's great. On that, because at the end of every issue, we get the title of the next issue. And the titles of specifically the last 3 issues are sick. We have How Sharper Than the Serpent's Tooth. For 127, we've got The Quality of Hatred. And for 128, we've got The Action of the Tiger, which may be some of the sickest hardcore album titles I've ever heard.
They're Shakespeare quotes.
I know. So I did research on them, and I'm like, yeah. So Claremont is definitely leaning into like his love of Shakespeare here, because we've got like King Lear with the first one, Henry V with the second one. The Quality of Hatred, I guess, is a spin on The Quality of Mercy from Merchant of Venice. I couldn't find a 1-to-1 for that one, but you know, he's playing with it.
I like that you did the research.
I had to. They sounded just so Claremont that I'm like, he's either just like going full Claremont here, or he's ripping off the Bard as he loves to do.
When I was like 16, there was a local deathcore band who were like the biggest deathcore band in the scene. I don't know. I was like, I don't know, 16, 17, 18, something like that. Like a lot of members of this band, they would have been in like year 10, and they dropped their demo. And one of the songs on it was called A Plague on Both Your Houses.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, guys, you literally have just read Romeo and Juliet in English class, haven't you? Because that's on the year 10 syllabus. You were sitting there in English class, you heard A Plague on Both Your Houses, and you wrote it down for the hardcore demo.
Hell yeah. They would have.
And that's what Claremont's doing.
That's what he's doing, yes. He's Claremont, the eternal lit kid. They probably just saw the Baz Luhrmann movie as well, because nothing will make you think Romeo and Juliet is dope like that movie.
I watched that movie yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not. I watch that movie every day of my life if I could.
God, it's so good.
It's not in my top 10 movies, but it's probably in the top 20.
The opening scene of that movie at the gas station is definitely one of my top 5 movie openings of all time.
Jamie Kennedy.
Who?
Jamie Kennedy, for Randy from Scream.
Oh, I didn't know his real name. Yeah. I didn't realize that was Randy from Scream. What the hell?
That's Randy from Scream. Yeah, he's got pink hair in there. Apparently, he went to the Scream audition with pink hair. I think he went a bit nuts on his podcast or whatever. Oh, no. And he's like maybe right-wing now. I don't know. Look that up, and if he's right-wing now, leave it in. And if he's not right-wing now, take it out.
Okay. Okay. I'll be honest.
But that's him in that scene.
I'm not looking at anybody in that scene except John Leguizamo.
I know, he's your boy. All right, X-Men, the entire opening scene of 126 with the Blackbird tearing through the sky because Scott is on a mission to get to his girl. He nearly takes out a fishing boat.
Yeah.
Scott doesn't care.
We learn the name of the fishing boat as well, which is the Audrey 2, which is a great little shop reference.
Then the X-Men enter the facility one at a time, and it feels like cinema.
Yeah.
Like, Byrne and Claremont have hit their stride here. Like, they're using the comic book medium. They're not rushing. They're not going too slow.
That's it.
They're doing things that feel cinematic and epic. We've reached symbiosis.
Symbiosis. Yes.
Whatever
you're
word
absolutely right.
that I am looking for here.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Sounds like one's feeding off the other.
Wait. Okay, let's look into that.
Who would win, the X-Men podcast or the English language?
I don't want to go against those odds.
Give me an up.
Okay. The reveal that Proteus is Moira's son is such a cool moment. In the panel of her revealing it to Scott, she is drawn with such specific intensity. You can see the conflicted feelings of pain, anger, and fear on her face.
I've been a sucker for Moira lore dropping from day one because we've been, like, however many issues since she debuted. Like, we're probably 20 to 30 issues we've been hanging out with her now. And we've been getting little nuggets all the way along. And then during this story, we get bits and pieces of her hating Proteus's father and that everything was too late from the moment her son was born. And it's cinema. We'll get to the specifics of the relationship with Joe in a little bit. Kurt has a lot of really great illustrations through 126, showing how he's using his power, because we get this great one of him bamfing from the Blackbird into Moira's house, and on one side of him, we see Kurt with the Blackbird behind him, and then his body divides the two panels, and on the other side, we see the interior of Moira's house behind him. Later on, we get Kurt fully enclosed in shadows as he bamfs away, but the only thing not engulfed in shadows is his hand giving the OK symbol. And finally, we see Nightcrawler using his invisibility powers to sneak through the facility as he encounters Havoc. And we get some great half-tone action, which I know Seanny loves.
Hey, Beth dropping half-tone.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout-out to Big Stupid Idiot and John Byrne in that we're getting all these creative uses of pencils and stuff. I'm really... It's cool!
It's cool! It's cool! Displaying things creatively in the visual medium is cool, and I love that they've locked into Nightcrawler's powers specifically with this one. It felt like they were purposefully not making him invisible in shadows a lot, almost as if they didn't know how to depict it. But they've locked it in now, and I love every time it comes up.
I think too, like, especially looking back at these old issues, like if you look at modern comics, like the style has changed so much over time that we don't, like, you're reading comics now, you're not thinking about like these creative uses of pencils to convey the things that they're trying to convey, because they're able to use different technologies and stuff to accomplish more easily.
Yes.
And looking at them, how are they going to find an interesting way to convey Nightcrawler teleporting or going half invisible? It's really cool to think about. It's cool to nerd out over.
It's so cool because they're making this on paper. Like digital stuff now, you're right, it's very easily to accomplish almost any visual effect that you think of. Someone had to painstakingly cut out that shape of Nightcrawler and glue it to the paper before they photographed it for the printing. That's wild.
See Seanny's long explanation of how halftone works in the outtake episodes on Patreon.
That's it.
Subscribe to the Patreon, $3 AUD per month.
Perfect time to drop a little sponsored ad for our own Patreon. Okay, double-sided up. First off, Logan sniffing out that Proteus has possessed the cop because of his scent is cool as hell. And
Real
second, cool. Proteus tries to possess Wolverine, but he can't because his body is full of metal. And this is the first reveal that Logan has an adamantium skeleton.
It's dropping. We're dropping lore.
And Logan is so funny. Every time he drops this lore, it's like the most casual, like, my skeleton's made of metal. I can read Japanese.
I got $3 million of adamantium all over my skeleton.
I love that he's so proud of the price.
And he wasn't very proud of being experimented on recently. Make your mind up. But we don't always process trauma in a consistent way.
No.
So I'm not making light of it.
Very well done. All right, give me your next up.
We get these really dope depiction of Proteus when he possesses bodies.
Yeah.
And the empty eyes that we see when he takes over the body is so powerful and engaging. Like, he feels like, even before we see him use any reality warping powers, he feels like such a threat.
Yes.
Just from the fact that, like, he's taking over these bodies.
I'm getting very challenged for X-Men to not talk about Dragon Ball Z, but like the Cell saga where like Cell is like sucking people for their nutrients and leaving them as withered husks like what Proteus is, and felt like such a threat. That's exactly what Proteus is giving me here, because as soon as he's in a body, it's over. That person's gone.
Yeah. Effectively, like, they're dead the second he takes them over. Like, they're not coming back from that. And that's the scariest, like, this is a horror villain.
Yes, that's
This
right.
is the scariest, most threatening villain, really, that we've seen. We've seen them face demons, but we haven't seen those demons kill people. Like, we're seeing people getting killed one after another throughout this whole storyline.
Yes, we are.
And the stakes are upped.
Yeah.
In comics now, like, people get killed off constantly. You don't even think about it. Like, villains just kill people all the time.
Yeah.
But there were things that they could and couldn't show, and they were testing the waters a little bit as they're going through this comic, and they're getting more creative with the ways that they're doing those sorts of things. So I think that's really interesting.
I completely agree. Yeah. So when we're getting into Proteus's real power, which is warping reality, we get some really cool depictions of how this works. And it's all throughout all of the issues. But the first encounter, when he's fighting Kurt and Logan, and everything gets all smeared and trippy, there's one specific panel where it's like Kurt's mouth is spread really wide and Logan's hand is like huge in the perspective of the panel. It looks like the kind of artwork that you'd find at like the bottom of a skateboard deck in the 90s. It's just...
like fisheye photo of Fred Durst putting his hands at the camera like this.
Oh
my camera's actually over there.
It's so Limp Bizkit, like that little icon
picking
guy
the
that
shoe
they have.
up, pointing the shoe at the camera.
Yes, that's it. It's super fun.
Once we get to this reality warping portion, Proteus's powers are so cool.
Yeah.
Of course the X-Men are totally useless against somebody who can rewrite all of reality itself. And it's drawn with these crazy psychedelic pencils.
Yeah.
And it's this marriage of like these psychedelic pencils. Cochrane's probably kicking himself that he didn't get to do this storyline.
Oh my God, can you imagine if Cochrane was here?
Imagine if Cochrane was here.
Oh.
But also, like, the prose that Claremont is writing to marry it together.
Oh, yeah.
Because we get things like Nightcrawler does his best to reassure his friend, unaware that thanks to Proteus, Wolverine perceives his words as drops of orange rain.
Oh, I loved that.
This is a completely unexpected take on a villain in a comic, as opposed to what we've seen so far in the X-Men. And it is so much fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of freaky little stuff happening... Can we talk about the colonial era flashbacks?
Please.
Because Wyngarde is forcing Jean into these freaky little colonial era flashbacks. And if you want me to think someone is evil, there is no better way than to make them be a rich white person who wants to harken back to the colonial era, because that's what bad guys in real life do too. Things were so much simpler in colonial times, weren't they?
They sure were.
Before women were allowed the vote.
When we could hunt a man dressed as a stag freely as we wished.
Wyngarde is playing these games with Jean's mind. And in the second flashback, which is the one I want to talk about, the hunting a man one, they're on a hunting expedition together. Jean's horse is named Satan. We get the reveal that they're actually hunting a man dressed as a stag instead of an actual stag. We cut back to the real world where Jean is shocked at what she's becoming because she genuinely wanted to kill the man in the fantasy. This storyline is bonkers, and I love it.
Yes, me too. I'm really here for this because, like, I know this is like Jason Wyngarde, like planting himself in Jean's mind, and it seems like it's playing off the evil Phoenix side of her, like trying to draw out those aspects of her personality that she's fighting against. And doing them in this particular way is so weird, but it's so distinct that I just really love it.
Sometimes the best art is made just by some freaks. And Claremont, Byrne, Cochrane, these guys are freaks. And
that's it.
I say it with love, except for Byrne. I say it with love. If you want to read a comic written by a normal, well-adjusted person, go off. I don't want that.
No.
I want some weird little freaks doing some stuff that I never seen before.
That's right. That's so right. Can you imagine pitching this comic? You're like, it's going to be about a bunch of mutants who half the time they're in space, half the time they're having like weird, trippy adventures. We're going to dip into demons, psychedelic art, and the writer is going to have the kind of prose you would find in most Shakespeare sonnets.
There wasn't really rules.
And it works. It all
They
works
didn't
so
know
well.
what was going to come out, and they were just letting him do it. And this, Marvel, bring this back. Stop canceling every comic after 10 issues
Aw.
before you let the writers get weird with it.
That's yes for all art forms. Please let your creators get weird with it.
I want to shout out Gail Simone, who's writing Uncanny X-Men at the moment,
Yeah?
because I saw someone online make the point the other day that she is the only X-Men writer right now who feels like she's writing like she's not expecting her comic to get canceled at any minute. She's just doing whatever she wants to do, and it's weird, and I'm really enjoying her run. So,
Hell yeah.
Marvel, if you cancel Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men, I will jump on a plane to the USA at real risk to my own well-being to get vengeance.
Oh my God.
So let's jump into issue 127.
Let's do it.
Moira's packing heat.
Moira's back in heat.
Nice little throwback
Oh,
to her coming out of the
yeah.
dining room, the dining room armory,
Next to
back
the
in issue
armory,
97.
yes.
Moira fully ready to murk her own son,
Oh my
as
God.
well as being willing to just totally take out Scott.
Yeah.
We missed you, Moira.
Oh, that scene where Proteus is closing in on Storm to possess her, and we as a reader are like, this is it. Like, what is going to happen now? And then you see the bullets ricochet off the ground. Again, cinema. And we cut to Moira in the sniper view. Like, that moment made me go like, this woman is going to take out her own son. And it was as badass as it was heart-wrenching, because it's raining at the time and you don't know whether her face is covered in tears or just the rain, or if it's both. It's so emotionally charged, but such a cool moment at the same time.
It's dope. That's becoming my catchphrase, but that's the lore of comics. It's good if it's dope. If it's not dope, it's not good.
And all of this is dope. And if I can jump like a little bit before this for another dope moment, when Proteus is first fighting Storm and she's injured and she's getting overpowered by him, and her only choice is to cause gale winds to blow at him, which is just sort of like slowing him down. They're not stopping him. Logan and Kurt are forced to anchor down because they're there as well. And Logan does this by digging his claws into the ground, but he does it while shielding Kurt's body beneath him so he doesn't get blown away. We love when the X-Men protect each other.
We love when a man has friends.
Yes, and Logan and the elf are friends.
Proteus, is just continuously intimidating through that whole scene, through the body possession scenes. In the third issue, we get this play with colors where, the panel is starting to turn purple while he's in the process of possessing. I think it's the scene where he's possessing the girl. We see the body fully in shadow, and then these purple panels with just white eyes visible, and it's just very stylistic and powerful. Again, everything, like the way they're depicting the reality warping, the possession, his form when he's finally broken down later. Incredible.
Incredible.
Psycho Slim is out in full force in issue 127. Because he attacks his own team to shake them out of their funk.
Oh my God.
Wolverine being so shaken up after the battle with Proteus is this real moment of vulnerability for him, which is great to see. Cyclops clearly knows this team so well that he knows that this is what's going to get them out of it. He knows that if he picks a fight with Wolverine, Wolverine's not going to be able to resist it. And so the second that Scott picks this fight, Wolverine says to him, "Bub, the day I'm scared of you is the day I better lay down and die." And he launches into battle. Totally, he's heading for the kill. He wants to kill Scott. And Scott knew he was going to do this. He's risking his own life. He's just letting it happen. The whole battle scene is great. It feels like a huge improvement on, there's a danger room scene that I'm going to complain about in my downs. It's cool to see Wolverine admit that he's got some respect for Scott after this. And he says, I ain't thought much of you in the past, Psych. I'm not doing the voice anymore because it hurt my throat. I ain't thought much of you in the past, Psych. As team leader or as a man, I was wrong. I was wrong.
Well, look, this is an interesting point because I have semi-conflicting feelings about this scene.
Well, you're wrong about it.
I want to preface that this was the issue that I was reading while I was waiting in my hot car for my tire to be repaired. So I don't know whether that clouded my view or not, but I just...
If you're gonna dunk on it now. Don't wait for the downs. We're talking about the scene now.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna reel it off now because, like, I know that this scene, like, was probably what was necessary to keep the pace moving, right? Because they don't have a lot of time. Proteus is out there on the loose. Scott handling Logan, Storm, and Kirk having PTSD essentially by poking at them and fighting them until they snap out of it. I didn't love it. I feel like what I wanted from Scott in that point was like a way to bring the team together. Because that's like, we'll talk about it in that Danger Room scene because I've got things to say about that too. But his whole point then was that they're not working as a team. They didn't work as well as the original team. This feels like it's trying to speak to that, but it's not about them working as a team. It's just about making them mad so they stop having psychosis. And it takes 3 pages of the issue. Like, if it was maybe like a little, like, maybe like a 1-pager, like a 1.5, it's just a lot. And I would have preferred a more inspiring moment for Scott than what particularly went down here.
What would you have him do?
This is my thing. Thing. Like,
he knows his team. The scene, Shorty, was dope. You're entitled to your opinion, but it's dope. I like it. And I'm going to pretend you didn't say any of that. It's the X-Men, girl. It's not cognitive behavior to therapy. It's not cognitive behavior therapy.
I know. And like, yeah, I don't know. And you know what? I don't have a leg to stand on in it, and that I don't have an alternative solution for it. So all I can say is how that scene made me feel in the moment.
Your feelings and opinions are valid.
Thank you.
But I disagree. I think it's good. I want to talk about the Moira storyline because it's deep and complicated and emotional. This is going to get heavy. And all through these issues, we get hints that something bad has happened to her in regards to the birth of her son. And when she speaks to Joe in his political office, because the story reveals that he's a candidate who could become prime minister one day, he speaks about how he doesn't really care that she doesn't love him, but he likes that they're still married because being married to a Nobel Prize winner is good for his political career. And yeah, it shows how heartless this guy is before the reveal of what's actually happened between them. Because Moira describes their parting as her words, fond farewell, in quotes, that left her in the hospital for a week and also left her pregnant. And
hate that.
I don't particularly like sexual assault being used as a plot point to further a woman's story because comic books in particular have historically done this badly. But in this case, I think it's handled about as tactfully and as well as it can be. It's not overt. It's not graphic, as a lot of other stories wouldn't have the good taste not to be. It's probably not 100% necessary, but it does add stakes to the story, and it touches on this real-world parallel that people in positions of power, like Joe MacTaggert, being a potential prime minister in the future, are able to get away with committing horrific acts because of the power that they possess. So while there's some things about it that are uncomfortable, I think overall they've conveyed a very powerful story here. It's something that, like, I wouldn't have expected Claremont and Byrne to have the ability to navigate, you know, based on, like, historically the stories that they've written and the medium that they operate in. But a child reading this probably wouldn't pick up on what's being said here, but an adult would. And I think they've handled it as well as they can. So overall, like, that's an up for me.
I completely agree with this. And I think you're right that when you're introducing a story like this, which unfortunately does have real world parallels, it is all about how tactfully you do it. And the fact that it's just that one line, and it's the kind of thing where shows or like probably other comics without as much tact would just straight up depict the flashback. And it's not necessarily helpful when you can say more with less.
I think the issue that a lot of writers fall into when it comes to including assault as an inciting incident in a character's story is to have that define them. This is an aspect of Moira's story, but it in no way defines her. Like, we've been shown there are so many things about Moira that she's a very layered and complex character, really.
Yeah.
That this is something now that we know about her and something that we know happened to her. But it's not something that will define this character.
Yeah.
But it served its purpose and it will help drive her in this story and in future storylines. So overall, like, props, guys. I wasn't expecting you. This is like, we're having a hard time even talking about it.
Yeah.
And pulling this off and not making it super uncomfortable in the story, like,
in the 70s?
good job. Well done.
Well done.
I'm not saying it's perfect.
No.
Let's move on.
Okay.
You know, I don't like to be too serious for too long.
Yeah.
I've already spoken about how the pacing of this storyline is better than anything we've had so far, right? Spreading out over 4 issues was the best decision they possibly could have made with this storyline.
Yeah.
Because they've always tried to do so much, and this storyline is way more developed than the others. Better development, better action, better backgrounds, better scenery, just a huge step up. And it leads to 128, which is the finale of the storyline, which is just a pedal to the metal issue of X-Men, where we just get scene after scene after scene of the X-Men delivering powers, actions that build on everything we've seen from them so far. And this is about as close to a perfect issue of the X-Men as we've had so far.
Yes.
Like, this may be... I don't know how well it would play in isolation, but as like a single issue of X-Men, if this was your first issue, like, you would say this is the best comic in the world.
Yeah, I didn't think about that in isolation, but you're absolutely right.
It's everything that's good about the X-Men is in this issue. We get Claremont's prose opens this issue. Ever hear a city scream? Not just the people, but the city itself. Things animate and inanimate, living and unliving, from cockroaches to cobblestones, from the top of the highest skyscraper to the bottom of the lowest sub-basement, all let loose at once with a great primal cry of fear and agony, as the fabric of its collective reality twists and tears and finally unravels before the irresistible power of one mad mutant. Such was Edinburgh, capital of Scotland, on the day Proteus came to town.
That is some Claremont prose.
Read straight from the comic, baby.
Wow, look, the OG copy.
Yeah, look at that. It's old.
It's got memories in there.
Well, if I bought this in 2009, bought this 17 years ago, and I would have been 18. This is nearly as old as I was when I bought it. How cool is that? Just, it's perfect prose. It's so good. We carry on. Proteus continues to use his powers in so many interesting and engaging ways, and Byrne's artwork shines as well, because we see warped buildings, swarms of bees coming from all directions, brick walls flying apart, Moira's body being lengthened and distorted. It's all so disturbing, but this issue plays so well to the strengths of both Byrne and Claremont.
Yeah.
And I love to see the X-Men as well make good choices and not impulsive choices with their powers. We see Storm use her cold weather to stop that swarm of bees that Proteus had created. We also see them coming to help each other out in lots of ways. We see Wolverine desperately freeing Storm from her amber prison. We see Nightcrawler teleporting down into this deep ditch that Proteus has dropped Banshee in, even at great risk to himself. We see Cyclops and Havoc teaming up and blasting their powers either side of Proteus. This, like I said, it feels like the culmination of everything we've seen in the X-Men so far, everything in this storyline, everything for the X-Men in general so far, everything for Byrne, everything for Claremont. This issue rips.
Oh, it rips. And the thing that's going on as well amongst this perfect synergy is that it feels like everything has leveled up in this issue. Like, the scale of this last fight feels massive compared to anything else that we've seen before.
Getting to have this fight as a whole issue helps too.
Yeah.
Decompressing the story to 4 issues means that we don't need to cram the final confrontation into the last 10 pages of an issue. We get to make this whole issue that fight. And that's why it works so much better, and we can do so much more with how the X-Men each respond and how they save the civilians and everything else. We get within this a lot of great scenes of the X-Men showing compassion for each other, like Cyclops making sure that Kurt goes down to save Banshee. He checks on Kurt after, who tells him that he's alive, mein Freund, but not well. And Scott tells him to rest easy because he's earned it. We see Cyclops and Peter interacting before Peter knows that he has to be the one to go to the top of the castle and kill Proteus because of this weakness to metal, right? And that's been telegraphed throughout these issues. We haven't seen Peter be a major player in this story, but of course, like, we have all these issues upon issues upon issues of Peter's crisis of confidence, right? So this is a huge thing for Peter to have to be the one who ultimately stops Proteus, whatever the cost. You can see that it's really their last resort. We get this brief interaction of Cyclops saying, "You know what to do, Peter, good luck." And Peter says, "I will not fail, Cyclops." In this storyline, like, Peter's arc may seem underdeveloped because we've spent no time with him, but we've spent countless issues with him before this, dealing with the fact that he always feels like he fails. And this crisis of confidence, his homesickness, his desire to be good. So when we realize that he's the only one who can kill Proteus, we feel his internal struggle on a huge level. We get mention of Proteus setting the air aflame around Colossus and it reminds him of the death of his brother Mikhail, which has been barely mentioned at all up until this point. Peter says to Proteus, "Before I met you, I never understood evil. You are evil, Proteus." And that's such a boss moment for him. I know I'm just rambling about everything I love about this storyline, but it deserves it. Like, this moment for Peter, it deserves it because it's been quietly set up several issues ago that Proteus has this weakness to metal. Peter has to do the job. He defeats Proteus. He explodes him to the 4 corners of the earth. And then immediately, this is who Peter is. He's comforting Moira when the other X-Men arrive and telling her that the X-Men did what they had to do because Proteus was evil, but still he mourns the death. And he has such a cute thing to say to Moira too when he says, "Do not hold back your tears, small one. I will not rust."
Okay. I have to talk about this too because, I mean, you've gone through and basically said everything in my last up, but
thank you for knowing that this storyline means a lot to me and just letting me ramble for the last however many minutes during the ups. I've been doing a lot of yapping.
It's worth it because, like, these issues, the storyline that it tells is so engaging from start to finish. The fact that they stick the landing on top of everything is huge. They could have half-baked it and we still would have had a good time. But this final scene with Peter, I want to talk about this visually too, because the moment where Proteus is taunting him with the flames around him, Peter is still in human form because he's only just jumped up there. And we get an amazing depiction of Peter across the panels, slowly rising up through the flames. And when he says to Proteus, "You toyed with me when you should have slain me," allowing me time to change from Peter Rasputin to Colossus. And he's just like fully in frame by that point. And he grabs him and Proteus explodes into white light. And I love how Claremont describes this as well, as if it feels like grabbing millions of live wires because you feel what Colossus is feeling in that moment. And then when you turn the page over, this is one of my favorite panels of X-Men so far. It's the vertical half of the entire page with this huge column of white light of Proteus exploding, and down really small at the bottom is Peter there, like gripping onto him on his knees. There's so much power in this visual, and it just really communicates the gravitas of the scene. It took my breath away reading this page.
Huge. I have to do some downs. It's gonna kill me to do it, but I have downs.
I know. I have some downs too, and it's because the ups are so high in this. Anytime there's just a little moment where it dips a little bit, it becomes a down. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. Let's get down. Seanny,
Yeah, Beth.
I am so fed up with the inconsistency of whether the X-Men are a tight-knit fighting team or not, because we have these repeated contradictions of some issues saying that Cyclops has molded them into the perfect fighting unit that can work together. And now, in this first issue, we're back to the danger room with him worrying if the X-Men will ever be able to work together because they're all too strong-willed. They're not like the original X-Men. It is silly.
It's silly.
Because
yes, thank you.
It's a paint-by-numbers danger room scene. We got Colossus struggling with something. We got Wolverine overdoing it and getting mad at Scott and storming off.
Yep.
And it's the same thing we've seen a million times before.
We got Kurt treating it as a joke, Aurora being the sounding board for him.
Like, reading that as a kid, you know, jumping on point.
Sure.
You haven't seen a bunch of those issues. It establishes some dynamic for you, right?
Yeah.
Us having read a lot of issues, we've seen it.
We've seen it.
Christopher, dog.
We don't need the danger room drama dance because it doesn't add anything to it. And Scott feels overly harsh for this. It sets him off on a weird tone for the start of this whole story. He's got that line, like, I doubt you'll ever mesh as effectively as the original X-Men. First off, rude thing to say to Aurora, who's just standing right there. But, like, you know better than I do. How good were the previous X-Men? Do they deserve this comparison to them? Were they all that?
The threats that the all new, all different X-Men have dealt with are worlds beyond. Galaxies beyond.
Yeah.
The threats that the original X-Men dealt with. Like, yeah, they fought aliens, they fought supervillains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Phoenix rewrote all of reality. And the other X-Men took down the Imperial Guard.
Yeah. But you know what? They're not working as a team.
You know what'd be much better than this?
What?
Is if after a fight with a villain and they were all shook up, Cyclops picked a fight with his own team and got them all riled up and...
You know what? I think part of my beef with that is because of this superfluous danger room scene, right? Because this scene feels like it's setting up something like in that fight with Magneto ages back where they had one encounter, they weren't working as a team and they failed for it. The next issue, they were working as a team and they succeeded. It felt like this scene needed to set up something better for that later scene to bounce off. Or just cut it out of here. Put something different to start it off.
How many times do we need to do this? Because it's like there's a lot of different hurdles that the X-Men can face. We don't need to... Like, I know I'm being petty on this whole thing.
We have to be petty.
I like that other scene so much because that scene, to me, it shows Cyclops knowing his team so well that if he sat down and tried to comfort Wolverine out of his funk, he wouldn't have a bar of it, right? But this scene, it looks like he doesn't know his team at all.
That's it, yeah. It feels very off-model for Cyclops to be doing this here.
Yeah, and that fight was for Wolverine's sake. Kurt and Aurora joined in, but it was for Wolverine's sake.
They
right?
did. I think that's the biggest problem I have with it. The fact that if it had just been Logan, like that's what Logan needs. I just didn't like Kurt being distressed that Cyclops was attacking him. He wasn't having fun.
I'm just trying to really win you over on it. I think it's a good scene.
It's fine. And you know what? I'm feeling more in line with it now.
Me saying I respect your opinion and then you disagree with me and I'm like, oh no, Seanny disagrees with me. I've got to show her.
No,
I got to win her over.
But this is the
I hate it when we disagree.
Me too. Well, I mean, we agree on like almost everything. It's like it's kind of nice when we have a chance to like chat it out because like you have raised a lot of good points and I like seeing it from your perspective too because it does make me see it from those different angles. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for making me consider that maybe my opinion isn't always the correct one. Just most of the time.
Well, You're very good at presenting your opinion, so you get to have it. Okay.
Give me a down. We got getting sidetracked.
Beth, who is this I see here in the Downs? Could it possibly be little Chucky Xavier? Here?
I hate him.
I swear, everyone watching this, I'm not on a campaign against Chuck. He just keeps doing this to me. We keep getting these little check-ins with Charles and Lalandra, and I'm cringing in advance every time. Lalandra's having this little party, and Chuck bails to go to the library. First off, rude. And he's consulting the library to find out what happened when Jean saved the galaxy 20 issues ago. And he is shocked to learn about the extent of her Phoenix powers and decides he has to return to Earth at once. You are learning about this now? He has an offhanded comment that, events happen so quickly on Earth, he didn't have a chance to do a debrief with the X-Men after they saved Lalandra. You didn't think to do a debrief on the plane home to the mansion? Or before you went to Greece for your vacation?
He pissed off to the Greek islands straight after that storyline.
Oh, my God.
Chuck here is feeling insecure because he's like the village idiot to these aliens. Because
that felt so good hearing that line.
He needs to be put in his place. He needs to be the smartest guy in every room. So it's nice to see him knock down a peg or two. No time to debrief with the X-Men after they save Lalandra. Just now, finding out what Jean did. Issues, like what's that, around 110? Something like that?
108.
108?
108.
Oh
I looked it up.
Oh my God. It's because you went on a holiday to the Greek islands, you idiot. You could have found out what Jean did months ago by asking her.
Lalandra was there when Jean did this. He didn't talk to Lalandra about it?
You didn't bring it up when Jean came to the mansion when she thought all the X-Men were dead?
You were hanging out for weeks then.
He's the worst. You know who sucks more than him, though?
Who?
Alex, Havoc, Summers.
Yay, I was waiting for this.
Alex thinks, because he's on Muir Island all the time, just doing nothing, being useless.
Hanging out looking grumpy in every scene.
Yeah, occasionally firing ineffective cosmic power blasts at his brother. He thinks that because Jean is walking around Muir Island in a singlet top, that she's showing off using her telekinetic talent to manipulate her body's metabolic levels and counteract the cold. He thinks to himself that flaunting her powers more and more is not like Jean at all. Jog on, you idiot.
On.
You have no control over what women wear or their bodies.
She's not wearing a jumper and I have to.
She's flaunting it. Oh my God, I bet he forces Lorna to wear what he wants her to wear. That's the kind of boyfriend he is.
You know
the kind
he
of boyfriend who tells his girlfriend what to wear. But Havoc, an idiot, refuses to believe that Kurt is who he says he is when they run into each other when Kurt is entering the Muir Island facility. Kurt asks him not to shoot because it's him, Nightcrawler. But Alex says, sorry, Buster, Nightcrawler is dead, and I stopped believing in ghosts long ago. Firstly, is that a jab at Nightcrawler who does believe in ghosts?
I took it as that, even though Alex wasn't there, just to rub it in.
It's a guy with Nightcrawler's accent and Nightcrawler's powers. Havoc hasn't encountered any doppelgangers to believe in them. So he's just an idiot. I hate him.
Agreed.
He stinks and I don't like him.
Okay, I have to dip into my ex because it is in that scene because directly after that encounter with Nightcrawler, he's grabbed by Colossus from behind and Alex has the line before delivering a massive power blast. You may be strong, pal, but let's see the strength save you from the cosmic power of havoc! Which is immediately shown to have done absolutely nothing to hurt Colossus.
Alex is the worst character. X-Men fans, flat scans, down in the comments, feel free to tell me I'm wrong. Everyone always tells me I'm wrong. But in these issues that we've read, Alex has done nothing of any worth. And I've read a lot of X-Men. You tell me that one thing he's done that makes him not stink.
I'm waiting for it.
I'm waiting for
This
it.
is the thing too, because like Beth has read all these, so you know she's got the power of foresight. I am just encountering these as we go, and I am waiting for Alex to not be a useless douchebag, and I'm still waiting.
He dresses skimpy during Inferno.
Well, that's nice.
It's because Maddie forces it on him, but finally, she's picking his outfit.
Yeah, about time.
After him, I just know he tells Lorna what to wear. All right, give me another down.
I only have one more down.
Oh, no. Not again.
Well, I ate through most of my downs talking about previous stuff. This was a tricky one to put in downs because on the one hand, I don't think there should be anything wrong with depicting female nipples. Free the nipple, baby. But also, we know the kind of man that John Byrne is. And I've talked about him drawing women in unnecessarily sexualized manner in the past. And there's one shot of Jean in these issues where she's about to attack Proteus. And for some reason, John's decided she needs a really pronounced nip poking through her costume at that particular moment. This treatment is not applied to any of the men in the team, who I assume are wearing similar materials. It just makes me cringe thinking of John Byrne spending particular time on this drawing, getting it just right. For what purpose?
There must be some kind of bra cup inside the uniforms
There
too, right?
has to be. She needs support. She's fighting crime.
And Colossus, when he's getting into metal form, organic steel nipples, baby.
Yeah. Hey.
He should be showing us the coal. Like every time that he steals up.
That's right.
But nope, Byrne is just drawing the girls' nipples.
No.
You freak. Hey, John Byrne, draw this. All right.
All right, give me your downs.
Cop-out reunion between Scott and Jean because we get the great scene of Jean falling in and out of consciousness. She sees Scott as being Jason Wyngarde because he's been messing with her brain. And she says Jason's name, which shocks Scott. But then we cut straight to the meeting in the living room. We get no other interactions between Scott and Jean for the rest of that issue. And it sucks.
It sucks.
We're robbed of a reunion.
That's so
Like,
right.
They thought each other was dead.
The loves of their life.
Real talk. For a guy who reads a lot of Shakespeare, Claremont is not a romantic.
You're so right. He doesn't do it great. Hey.
Prove me wrong, dog.
Wow, he's really
Oh,
good. He's really good at friendship.
They have a nice scene during Dark Phoenix. Like a romantic one.
All right, that's cool. Because the only scene we've really seen where I've felt them really lock in is that shuttle scene back with the Cosmic Storm where Jean has to put Scott down.
Because all we've got ever since is the angst of, oh, she's not
That's
who I think
it.
she is. I can't tell Scott the truth. They fumbled the bag, right? We had like some really great setup with them. Like Scott being tortured about, you know, Jean leaving the X-Men and him having to choose to stay, the stuff on the spaceship, all that. But ever since they got back to Earth, we just haven't had it.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. It's just coming off as wishy-washy.
You've got one more storyline to redeem this, boys. Get it right. Banshee's really underutilized in a story that focuses so heavily on the MacTaggerts.
Yeah.
He's romantically involved with Moira, and just every now and then, we get a mention of him being excited to go to the island to see her, or when he finds out she has a husband in the face-off with Proteus, we get a small speech bubble of him saying, husband?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it seems like he should be playing a much bigger role here
Yeah.
because it's so close to home for him. And it's only in the 4th issue that we really get Banshee raging and telling Scott that he's tired of waiting and he needs to save the woman he loves. But then he backs down almost immediately when Cyclops says that they need to focus on saving the civilians before stopping Proteus. But then they launch straight off to chase Proteus anyway. And this whole argument really made no sense because they head straight to Proteus.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? I don't know.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, and see, I started out when I was reading these issues, I'm like, I love that Banshee is here and along for the ride, even though he has no cosmic scream right now. Like, I love that he's just here to be as helpful as he can be anyway. But you're right, because since it's such a Moira-centric episode, I was almost like really wanting a moment where his lack of power would cause him to make some big sacrifice or to do something to prove his love there, because he really only sweeps back in at the last moment.
I think this is the downfall of the Marvel method. You know, Claremont hands this outline to John. John hands the pages back. If there's nothing drawn there for Banshee,
That's it.
things slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
Banshee does pull a gun on Proteus. That's something.
I was going to say. That was pretty cool.
Shoots him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Proteus says, fool, you should have finished me with your first shot. I guarantee you won't live to try a second one. But he was terrified when Moira was shooting at him. And
Yeah.
I feel like a metal bullet lodged in his shoulder. He has a weakness for metal. Should have done much more damage than it did.
Yeah.
And like we see this done a lot better after Wolverine finally manages to swipe Proteus with his claws.
Yeah.
Because after that, the depictions of Joe MacTaggert's host body are shown to be a lot more zombie-like and burnt out. That means when Colossus hurls Proteus at the wall, his whole body just disintegrates.
Yeah.
So I guess that bullet is there. It starts the disintegration, but I don't know. Am I nitpicking too much?
No, I agree with it. And like, we sort of have to nitpick because, as we said, we love these issues so much. There's not a lot of faults that we can dig up with them.
I'm going to bitch about Wolverine.
Go for it.
Proteus gets in a pretty impressive attack against Jean, where he makes her feel like she's been dead and buried for a year, but she can feel it. Dope panel, too. Like, we see a black body with the white skeleton showing through, like...
So cool.
Then Wolverine launches in from off-panel and says, "Leave her alone. I love that lady, Bob." Loved with a D. Wolverine has just flicked the switch and immediately has no feelings for Jean. Found out she's alive. Doesn't even really care because he's got his eyes on another woman right now. Him meeting Mariko like Romeo, instantly forgetting all about Rosaline the second he sees Juliet for the first time.
Jean has been Rosaline. That's so true.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine Jean in that moment too?
She's like, oh, finally. He'll stop asking me to come down to Harry's hideaway with him.
Play some 9-ball and sink some tinnies.
Is 9-ball like pool?
Yeah, that's what he calls it in the issue. I had to look it up when he said it.
Are there 9 balls?
I guess so.
I don't know.
People in the comments. How many balls Henry became a pool?
One more jab at Wolverine. Peter, obviously comforting a distraught Moira, walks straight up to Colossus while he's hugging Moira, and he says, "I couldn't have aced that sucker better myself." Broski,
Read the
you
room.
gotta read the goddamn room. A woman just suffered the most devastating loss of her life, and she's right next to you.
Her son and ex-husband exploded into a column of light.
Is that it for the downs?
That's it. We've set our petty downs.
X gonna give it to you. X gonna deliver to you.
Very nice. You're getting better and better.
Jason Wyngarde has been sneakily going around and getting close to Jean in a number of disguises to get to know her better than she knows herself.
Mm-hmm.
In one panel, we see this hot young guy on the Greek islands walking out of the sea onto the beach in a Speedo. The very next panel is Jason in his weird Shakespearean Lemmy outfit saying that now he'll be able to make her fall fully in love with him. Should have stuck with the hot bod, man. The idea of Wyngarde being appealing to anyone in this form is so funny and gross. He's like, finally, I'm everything she wants, mutton chops.
What we don't know is that this is exactly Jean's ideal man.
That's it. That's what this is hinting.
She has just terrible taste.
I know her better than she knows herself. Her type is the smelliest man you've ever seen.
She loves Motorhead and Pride and Prejudice.
I'm in this photo and I don't like it.
Girl, same. But we're not going around wanting that combination to be our ideal man.
Right, give me an X.
Okay. We were talking about how Sam Raimi is going to direct this storyline. It's going to be perfect. It's got everything. And you know who's playing Joe? Peter Gallagher. Sandy Cohen from the OC, because you can't tell me this is not the spitting image of that man.
But Sandy's the perfect TV dad, and you're going to turn him into this horrific abuser?
But it's the range of his acting. I know that he can do it. He's made us love him. He can make us hate him.
I don't want him. I don't want to hate him. I love Sandy Cohen.
I'm sorry. Look at a picture of this and now a picture of Joe. This man was meant to play this role.
I'm listening to the audio version this week. Just so I don't have to look at that.
You don't want to confront reality.
No, that's why I'm on an X-Men podcast with my friend. The right wing likes to tell me I'm already detached from reality because I think I'm a woman. But I am a woman. The X-Men is dope, and Sandy Cohen needs to be left alone.
Oh, okay, give me your X.
Claremont thinks that a character being able to change clothes instantly is the coolest superpower ever. So we get the little scene of Jean pirouetting and changing into a number of different outfits quickly. I find it funny. He's done this multiple times before with both Jean and Storm. And really hyped up this instant changing of outfits. But it's even funnier that this comes straight after all these panels of Wyngarde imagining Jean in different outfits. And this happens within the space of, Seanny, one page.
You're so right.
The top of the page, him imagining her in the Hellfire Club outfit. The bottom of the page, Jean pirouetting in the different outfits. It's like Claremont and Byrne knew that one day there would be a fashion-conscious podcast hosted by two trans women to talk about this.
They did.
Next X.
This probably should have been an up because I love it so much. But it's such a jarring moment in the middle of the final showdown with Proteus when he uses his reality warping powers to turn a building into a swarm of bees. And Storm wants to save the people from the bees, but she also doesn't want to harm the bees. Hell yeah, by the way, Storm, protect the bees. Integral to our environment.
We need the bees.
We need the bees.
We would be extinct without bees.
And I don't think they knew that in the 70s. But she has the line, they should not have to pay the price for their creator's madness. I mean, they were a shop front seconds before this. But she's still...
They were a shop front.
She's still... That is our Storm, that she not only sweeps the bees away with a breeze, she makes it a cold wind to send them into hibernation back into the store so that they can just be float in there and just go to little bee sleep. Storm loves bees and I love Storm.
Imagining opening up that shop the next day, working the opening shift at the shoe store, and you're like, they've taken the sign down. Open the door, just very slowly close it again. I'm calling in sick today. Shout out to Proteus. We need more bees.
Hey, we need less buildings and more bees.
So funny. Across these issues, multiple people, Lorna, Scott, keep referring to Havoc as my brother, Alex, or your brother, Alex.
What?
Either just say my brother or Alex.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Alex is Scott's brother, but we just gotta use his name every time. It's like they're taunting me.
We learn that when Proteus possessed McWhirter's minor electronic skills were enough to reprogram the lab's main computer to make it look like his cell was sealed. What counts as minor electronic skills that he was able to do this?
This is high-tech facility, yeah.
McWhirter knows how to check his emails, and that translates into being able to pre-program the system of a high-tech facility.
This is going to come into my big epic Proteus rant that I'm about to go on.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait.
How old is Proteus?
That's a good question.
I've no idea how old Proteus must have been when he went into that cell. We get told eventually he's been in the cell for 10 years and that he was still in his natural body. So he's been able to take knowledge from the people he possesses, which seems to be how he's able to drive a car and also reprogram the lab's computers using Angus McWhirter's minor electronic skills. How he knows how to do that from driving and selling hovercrafts, I don't know. But Moira is fully aware that he has to possess host bodies to survive. And this power is manifested at some point, and that was the turning point for her locking him away. But he was locked away still in his original body. So I'm trying to work out whether he's 10 years old and he's just a kid getting all these knowledge from people, or if his power manifested as a teenager and he was burning out his body and she just learned all this from tests.
Yeah.
But you know how I like to make sense of things.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to have a comfortable answer to this, and that's fine. But Proteus is weird as hell when he's in, I think he's still in the policeman's body, and he calls Storm my pretty blackbird as well. That doesn't seem like something a kid would say. It might be something a police officer would say,
Ew.
ACAB. He gets Joe McTaggart's awful personality when he absorbs him.
Yeah.
So maybe the cop was creepy and racist, and he absorbed that as well.
All right, we need less covering plot holes about how he managed to use McWhirter's minor electronic skills to make it look like the cell was empty, and maybe just a little bit more time spent on covering that.
Just anything about how Proteus works.
Yeah.
It's dope. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He was a dope villain. I was happy to see it. But you know, I just got to have my little one of these rants every single episode. I got one more X. No more Colleen.
Oh my God. Yeah, where's Colleen?
Scott and Jean are back together now. Don't worry about it, Colleen. But here's what really happened. Joe Duffy took over writing Power Man and Iron Fist, and she said, Claremont, stop using my characters. It's getting confusing.
Show me the lie, though.
And that came from a reliable source. I read that on Tom Brevoort's blog, who is currently the X-Men editor right now. I'm taking that to be real.
This is so funny to learn after we've specifically commented about how weird it was to keep getting Power Man and Iron Fist characters jammed into these stories.
Like, here's the thing. Claremont wrote all 15 issues of Iron Fist and the last handful of issues of Power Man before they got merged into Power Man and Iron Fist. And then he wrote like 3 to 5 issues of Power Man and Iron Fist. So when I said he was writing Power Man and Iron Fist, he was writing Iron Fist and he was writing Power Man.
And also Power Man.
And he wrote a little bit of Power Man and Iron Fist.
So grammatically, the statement is still correct.
Yeah, it's confusing, isn't it?
Oh my God, this is so fun. Colleen, like, doesn't even get an exit. She's just out of here.
Yeah, she's just done. We're done with her.
Sorry, babe.
I'd say you were Scott's girlfriend, but you weren't because I was Scott's girlfriend.
Oh, all along. Haha.
That's all the X's?
That's all the X's.
I see. It's time for the fashion component.
I think it's time for the fashion component.
Cool. Let's start with the best dress.
Okay, shaking it up.
My best dress for the week is going to Lorna Dane.
Ooh, okay.
Because she's just wearing some nice casual clothes around Moira's house on Muir Island. She's wearing, this isn't even a joke one today. It's nothing extravagant. I just liked it. Very stylish casual clothes. Knitted turtleneck jumper with this yellow wool with an ornate pattern down the front and the sleeves. Tasteful brown pants. Boots for when she needs to head outside into the muddy Scottish marsh isn't the word I want.
Highlands?
More
Islands. Yes, there you go.
Yeah. But the real star of this show, Seanny, is Lorna's hair. She's had her hair done since we last saw her.
Uh-huh.
She has had a blow wave to end all blow waves. And she's got some brilliant 70s feathering going on.
Oh, yeah.
Flicks for days, coming right out the sides of the head. Beautiful middle part. Whole hairstyle is drawn to move as she does. You could just imagine Lorna turning around and the hair is bouncing with her.
Oh, true.
I just love the whole thing.
I love that. Oh, I feel bad for glancing over Lorna because she's only in it for a little bit. But yeah, I agree with all of that.
Yeah, she looks good.
She looks
and
good.
Jean's had it too good for too long.
That's, yeah. for that panel that I loved so much because of the action of it, I have to admit that none of those outfits particularly gripped me. This might be a bit of a hot take. I don't think Byrne is consistent enough in the civvies that he draws. They don't eat like Cockrum's did.
Agree.
Thank you. Cockrum, every time we looked forward to a civvy scene. Byrne, they're just sort of uninspired sometimes.
Byrne's got the faces. Cockrum has the drip.
That's it. Would you like to know my best dressed?
I do. I would. That's what I should have said.
You do, and you
I
would.
do would.
You would.
I would do to know it.
You would
yes.
do well to know my best dress. I've got to give it to the woman of the hour. It's Miss Moira MacTaggert. Because throughout these issues...
The jumpsuit?
She's wearing this cute science jumpsuit. Oh, the little cream jumpsuit with the pink belt, gloves, and boots. There's no way they need to be pink. She's just conducting experiments on her labs. She just likes to have a little bit of fun. But what I like most is in the second half of these issues when she's out trying to murder her own son. She slipped on this green coat. And the green, the way it's popping with the cream and the pink gloves as they're popping through the coat, it's a really nice trio of colors. There's just so many great moments that she gets in these issues, and I think she looks like a cute boss babe while she's doing it.
I love that for you, but I hate that goddamn jumpsuit. I'm here for the coat and the gloves, but I hate that jumpsuit. It looks like it'd be squeaky. Like you'd move and it'd be like,
Oh my God. The tension of the scene of her with the sniper rifle completely undercut by it being really squeaky while she's moving it.
Have I ruined your best dressed?
I still love it. I don't mind.
I love it that you love it. I love you.
I love you. Because of that.
It's a podcast about friendship.
Yes. That's it. This podcast is about friendship and judging fashion together. Okay, my worst dressed. And this feels real good because I really hate this character. It's Joe. I don't know exactly what texture they're going for with the cardigan he's wearing, but it looks like it's paneled with chest hair. And I say this because he's also wearing an extremely open button-up shirt with an excessive amount of chest hair protruding out of it. And it's drawn the exact same little black swirly way as these bits of the cardigan are. If it were any other texture, this fit wouldn't even register on my radar because it's fine, really. It's just a cardigan. But I have such a visceral, disgusted response to how they have drawn this and what it must feel to touch this cardigan that it has to be my worst dressed.
Maybe it's a real loose knit and that's his actual arm hair is poking out through the gaps in the knitting.
Oh, I didn't think it could be worse.
I've made it worse.
Oh, God. Well, I don't want Peter Gallagher to play him now.
You shouldn't have wanted that in the first place. My worst dress is Proteus.
Oh.
Because wearing other people's skin is weird, man. Don't go around doing that. And of all the people you choose to possess a police officer? If you could wear any person, a police officer, I wouldn't want anyone thinking I was a police officer ever. I get mad about anything cop adjacent. So, Proteus, walking around in a cop's body, you're weird as hell, dude. Cut that out.
Only thing worse than a cop is a guy who wears a cop.
Boom. Mic drop. Silliest worst dressed of all time.
I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap on X-Men issue 13.
Yeah, that's it. Aw, I don't want to stop talking about this story. I really liked it.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, but Seanny, we got a huge one for you next week. We're kicking off with X-Men 129, and we are reading the Dark Phoenix Saga.
We're finally here.
It has been building to this. The last 6 months of us doing this podcast, we've hit Dark Phoenix.
Oh my gosh.
And I am beyond excited. So we'll see you here next time. Make sure that you subscribe to our Patreon and you can get access to special outtake episodes and your name at the end of these episodes. Make sure you leave some engagement down in the comments, even if it's just the word engagement, or just comment on whatever silly thing we said in this episode, because we've been talking for hours. I got no idea what I've said. Wish me luck for my wedding day. Peep the new La Familia single, May 1st, pretty on the inside. I think that's it. Be good to each other. Don't watch that Harry Potter show or I'm going to knock on your door and knock your freaking teeth out. All right. Thank you, Flat Scans. We are the X-Men, the next stage in human evolution. 2 trans women exploring the X-Men. Signing off. Mwah! We're not the men you thought we'd be. Womankind next stage of humanity.
Thomas the Tank Engine narrated version.
Yeah, for everybody at home who's seeing this outtake. Yes, I have been watching my old childhood Thomas the Tank Engine VHS tapes again. And yes, I have started narrating things like Ringo Starr. That show, authoritarian and anti-union. And it believes in punitive punishment, not restorative action.
And yet...
Banger show. Absolute banger. Because train go choo-choo.
Train go choo-choo! Cisgender's final death.
Oh yeah, that was how we started.